tonight in town, there's a meet and greet for a scooter rally. And I'd like to go to it. I've got, well, 2 hours to make something go.
Remember that guy? Yeah. All right.
It's the next day. The scooter ran really great yesterday, albeit it didn't really stop very well at all. I had to really kind of mash that rear brake all the way to the floor to get the thing to kind of stop. And the front brake was a little scary. It, just caused the fork to collapse. All things considered, it runs good, but I've still got to do a little bit more work to it. As you can see, or, well, I don't know, maybe not see, the weather is not so advantageous for riding today. So that scooter rally had a couple of rides going on. I opted to just stay home and do a little bit more work on this thing. Now, one note is I don't expressly know what this is. Right? Like, I know that it's a small frame. I'm pretty sure it's an Allstate. I got this in a trade deal with a friend of mine. He got it in some deal from another friend of his. There's no real paperwork. There was one piece of paperwork that came with it from the other guy. I ran the numbers on it. It's got a number plate for a Sears Allstate, but I can't get that number to come up as anything. I went all through Scooter Help, couldn't actually figure it out. Remove the engine door, there's a number that you can still sort of see just above the engine, but I can't see it that well. Now, the paint sort of looks original, and I actually thought it was original, but the more time I really look at it, it seems like there has been a respray on it. At any rate, what I can gather of the numbers that I have for this, if I run it as a VA1T, which is what it looks like stamped into the frame, the number that I have, not on the number plate, the number on the frame, comes up as a 1951. So that's not correct. If I run it as a V9A1T, which is a designation for a small frame, it comes up as a 64. I don't think it's a 64. With the small frames, there was the small engine door and the large engine door. I don't quite remember exactly how it works, but I know that the small engine door was earlier models, the large engine door was later models. I'm pretty sure 64, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it really is a 64. But I feel like maybe the 64 was a small engine door, and I'd have to fall down an internet rabbit hole to figure it out, and I kind of don't care. At one point I ran the number and it came up as a 67, but I don't exactly remember what I did. And it came up as a 67 125. I don't think the frame was a 125. It seems more likely that it is a 100 Sport or a V90. Now, all those things being said, the engine number is very clear, and it is a 1981 100 Sport. So, got the engine from an 81 100 Sport. The body is a later 60s 100 or V90. The headset is definitely not a V90 or a 100 Sport. That looks more like a headset off of an ET3. So I don't really know what it is. Not that it matters. It is a Vespa and it is a small frame. And it is running pretty good. So now I'm going to do a little bit of work and try and basically, well, I want to tighten up that rear brake. One way to do that is with a T5 rear brake conversion. SIP doesn't really make that particular conversion for a small frame. I've actually done it on a friend's small frame before. So the small frame rear brake, kind of similar to the way a P-Series works. It's got the pedal assembly that's tucked up into the body. The brake arm is physically shorter. When I did it on my friend's small frame, I used the P-Series cable that's got the fitted eyelet on one end. And it worked good, but the cable was still a little too long. So I actually want to try it with the cable that I used for the Rally T5 brake conversion. I've got to kind of figure out how I'm going to discern how long the cable needs to be. So I don't know. I'm gonna take it apart and figure it out. And I'm also gonna kind of maybe do a couple other little things. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work. Well, so much for that. This post came out with the pad. So, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I don't know, this post is steel, this plate is like pot metal or aluminum. And it looks like there's some machine punches that sort of hold this in, I guess. Maybe with an adhesive, there's... No. Can't really tell what's happening. This seems highly unsafe. I have a small frame engine that I built a long time ago in a bin up here. I might have this here. But I feel like, without doing a little more research into how this is supposed to fit in here, but it goes in and out pretty easy. So I can't imagine that. I don't think I really want to just slide this in there and put it back together. That seems like it would be highly unsafe. So that's a bummer. Also, these rear brake pads are modified. This is a bunch of material's been cut away here, and well, somebody tried to make vented brake pads out of them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like these either. Got one. Well, got the plate. It's nice and clean, and there's a set of brake shoes in there. Not too bad. Certainly gonna need to order some parts. That engine is actually an ET3 Primavera engine that I've had for years. I actually completely rebuilt that engine during lockdown. And it was rebuilding that engine was really the precursor to me starting the channel, because it was one of those early, COVID projects. It was something for me to do, and I had different ideas about maybe what I would use that engine for. These days, I'm actually thinking I'll put it in this, but I don't really want to do that right now because I want to ride this thing tomorrow. So, and I don't really want to deal with swapping engines and getting that thing dialed in and everything today in the rain. So I feel like maybe there's a future episode where I do an engine swap. But for now, I'm gonna steal some parts. Okay. All right, I got the seal, the hub plate. So now I should probably figure out the pedal. All right. Huh. All right, well, there are only 2 bolts holding this thing on. There's supposed to be 3. Clip there. All right, clip is there. All right, clip's in good shape. Why the hell wouldn't they put a fastener in this? Clean that up. Oh, what a can of worms. Alright, I made a pretty faint Sharpie mark on the end of the cable where I think the end of the new cable would need to be to kind of give me a cut length. But this has the molded eyelet on this end. Totally thought that this would be the clamp. Ooh. It's coming down now. It's an awfully wet day to be riding the scooter. Oh yeah. The threaded eyelet on the end of this cable has also been, looks like it was worked on by a cutting wheel. Got the cable out. I think I've got my length set. I'm gonna wash my hands, mark up this new cable. New cable, threaded end. No, nothing, no eyelet end. All right, let's see here. Need a Sharpie. It's not bad. Brake arm in its flat position. That zip tie more or less represents just past the end of the brake arm, where I would want my threaded end to sit or to start. So then the more I tighten it, the more I pull that brake arm in to tighten the brake. So I want to kind of be in this area right here, and then I'm marking up the cable at the end of its pivot point down here so I can line it up in this clamp and put it together. So I think I feel pretty good with this. So I think I've actually got one or two more of these in case I screw this up. Before I go and cut this, I think I want to completely reassemble the rear brake assembly first, so that once the cable's cut, I can immediately thread it in, because I sort of don't want to cut it and leave it hanging out. I could solder the end of it, but you know, ain't nobody got time for that. Here's the original brake arm. For the purposes of this modification, I actually just bought a replacement brake arm from SIP. Here is the brake arm for the T5 conversion kit. So what the original brake arm does is when it's laying in there, you know, and it's holding onto those brake pads, well, not really holding on, but you know, the brake pads are pressed in between it. It's kind of sitting like this, right? And so the cable pulls on it and it actuates the arm. All right, so notice it's got this little curve, and that's where the cable's going to line up. So my theory here is that, you know, I need this piece to essentially be in line with the hole here, because when it is sitting in its position, it's whatever position, it's going to be like this, right? So I want it to be, I want the angle of the cable to essentially be the same. So the other thing here is we've got this bend, which puts the line of the cable right here. So if I line everything up, it basically, the center of this hole and the center of this hole, it sort of puts this crease right along at this bend. So what I'm going to do is cut this right here at the crease. Just going to go ahead and mark it. So I'm going to cut it. Yep. You know. I'm going to cut this off right in here. It's still a little long, so I may have to actually cut this more like in there and then attach it to both sides. Something like that. All right, let me see if I can get this set up to weld. It's gonna be about there. All right, here goes nothing. Well, there it is. I did a little crappy rattle can job on it to kind of stave off the rust, but I think it's going to be good. I'm going to go put it back in. These two halves lined up. That's the wrong direction, and okay. Pain in the ass. It's getting late. I'm literally cooking dinner at the same time, so, and it's cold out, so I think I'm gonna push everything in, close the doors, go eat, take a break, and come back at this. All right. So far I've done two things poorly, which is work on this and make dinner. That was not good. All right, well, what is the weather going to be tomorrow? Let's see. It's going to be cool. Oh, it's going to be really cool. Oh. All right, well, I better get to it. All right, that's on there. Okay. those clips? Here they are. Okay. Well, that's back together. Oh, that's tight. Nope. Oh yeah. It's just touching right here. Right there. Suppose I could make it a little bit tighter, because it would just wear that out a little bit. Oh no. One turn. And loses it right there. Right here it's rubbing. It's real slight. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna go with that. Let's see. I need to put a zip tie on this old girl right here. Hang that back up. And I need to drop the motor down. Well, maybe I don't have to drop the motor, but I want to adjust that rear shock some. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There's one. There's three. I think I got one more to go. I do. Four. Nice. Oh, I could spend a lot more time working on this thing, getting it cleaned up, but ain't nobody got time for that. I think that's the second time I've said that in this video. But I feel like I'll probably spend some more time on this down the road. This is pretty good. Got suspension on. Got this brake handled. Would have been nice to have a horn. Well, maybe I still got time. I don't know what time it is. Alright, whatever. Let me finish putting this thing back together. Let's see. Oh, I don't need that. I don't need that. This garbage can go in the garbage. How the hell am I going to connect that? That is. Maybe I can push it. Let's see. I don't know. Oh yeah. There we go. Alright. Oh, it's like I'm almost done. Alright. Tools. Okay. Okay. Random zip ties. What is going on there? So it looks like green is ground. I wonder if this horn is AC or DC. Let's see. Alright, the only way for me to know if this horn's going to work on AC is for the bike to be running. Oh, no wonder the headlights It's not bright. It's a taillight bulb. Oh, Lord. Yikes. Well, that'd be why I could barely see anything riding home the other night. Was this thing. Alright. Let me see, what have I got? This one's certainly cleaner, but it's got wood screws holding the thing in. Oh, and there's a zip tie. Got some fine Italian vintage sheetrock screws to hold this together. Boom. Alright, bright headlight. Shut this thing off. There we go. Okay. Alright, good. So I got this switch from, I don't know what the hell it's from, but it's got a horn and it's got a high-low on it. Oh crap, I need to know what is what on this though. It doesn't have a kill switch, but this will at least give me a high beam and a low beam. Not that I really switch them. More importantly, it'll give me a horn switch so I can yell at people. So, that makes the green hot. This goes to the horn. This is the headlight. Alright, so I need to get a wire to the horn. Alright, I guess moment of truth. Got it all back together. Let's see what happens. Horn. Yellow brake light. Alright, still no kill switch. But whatever. Works. All right. I'm tired. What time is it? Oh, yikes. I gotta go to bed. It's gonna be cold riding tomorrow, but hopefully it doesn't rain. All right. What's happening, dude?
How are you, my friend? Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's been a while. What are you riding? Oh, small frame.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those things. Yeah, I have one of those and I have to let it go. Oh man, I still cry every day, but that's what I like the most. Small frames. I really envy you. I love these things. I cry every day.
So,
Because of my So yeah. Oh, and I see you.
Yeah, like I said, I got it all together.
Calibrated.
Oh yeah, expertly calibrated.
It's like no, you erase this and go
Yeah.
a little further.
So after catching up with friends, I took a little walk around to see all the scooters. There was some cool stuff that came out. A couple of scooter clubs from out of town were in attendance, and some old friends I haven't seen in a long time, and I met some new folks. This is my first time attending a New Orleans scooter rally that I'm not part of organizing, and I'm just here as a regular old attendee. And it's pretty nice. So I head on inside to get myself a donut. Here's some ride instructions, and we'll use the bathroom. But now it's time to head back out as one of the rides are lining up and getting ready to take off. But pretty soon, it's time for me to saddle up and get moving. The ride stopped for lunch, but I'm running home before I head out to the Gymkhana, so I'm gonna take a nice leisurely ride by myself. So on my way home, I decided to ride through the French Quarter, because what video shot in New Orleans wouldn't have the French Quarter in it, right? Well, I tried to ride down Bourbon Street, and despite making several passes at it, I was never able to actually get a clear shot. I always got stuck behind some rubbernecking car. So I just bailed on that idea, and well, I made my way home. I got a little bit of rest up, and then I headed back out for the games and the raffle that were in a brewery parking lot nearby.
Alright, as McCullough out here, McCullough, if you're still going to join us for the obstacle course, could you please get up to the start line? that'll be our last three contestants for the obstacle course.
Nice start.
Saved it.
The Hurricanes get everybody.
I know.
Damn hurricane.
Damn, I was like, if I stay real tight to it, I'll get it, and then I just knocked it over.
Hey, but you put it back up, and that's what counts.
Yeah.
That was even that had any bonus points for putting it back.
Hey, a quick note about this slow race. They had us wear an eye patch, like an homage to Professor Longhair. And if you don't know who that is, you should find out. I'm going to include a link in the description. He's kind of important to the city of New Orleans, the place where I live and where this rally is taking place. And because of that eye patch, I can't see anything to my left. As a matter of fact, I actually think I'm in a slow race with only 2 other people.
Give me a look, Jeff.
I couldn't tell.
Well, the Python one on that.
Who'd he say was the winner?
The
other guy?
Jerry on the modern scooter.
Of the heat I was in?
Yeah. The guy to your far left.
I
the
couldn't.
the blue modern. That guy. The red hat.
I couldn't see him.
Well, so much for that slow race. I did end up winning 3rd place in the Gymkhana, though. I think they gave me some extra points for, stopping and putting that obstacle back up. But hey, I had a great time. It was a super fun rally. But now it's time to saddle up and mosey on home.
How are you gonna get that?
I'm either gonna sit on it or I'm gonna stuff it up my jacket.
Well, you got your sign, man.
It's up my fucking back of my jacket.
I just stuck it on here, man. I don't know where to put it. Yeah, stay with me.
Yeah.
Well, you're the best. There'll be 3 of us.
It might be a couple more.
Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go.
Hey, we're at the end of this 2-part episode. I sure hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. Now, if you liked it, don't forget to hit the old like button. Kind of like I forgot to check my gas tank. Yeah, that's right. I ran out of fuel on the way home. Well, sorta. Don't worry, I only managed to turn my fuel tap to close instead of reserve. Now, I might have finally cleared out my shop, but I'm definitely at no loss for projects. So don't forget to hit subscribe too, so you know when I got something new coming out. All right, y'all. See you on the next one. Ciao.